All right. So I'm going to start with just some updates here. Been pretty busy with the really sets of people right now. So we've got on one side, on the proxy side, some really good testing over the weekend, which worked out well. We had obviously a good weekend of plays. So hopefully, you guys are, whether you're playing them or whether you're just using the system right now to kind of see where we go each and every week. Either way, it's a good way to go. So, but on the proxy side, we're probably, I want to say, right around the 20th, which kind of coincides with when it looks like the marketing partner, the two big marketing affiliate marketing teams will go live with the SFP. So if you've got people, and I get texts pretty much every day from people just saying, "Hey, when's that? It's going to happen." So it's looking like probably start on the SFP funnel, adding the button for people to start signing up within the next probably 72 hours. So if you that are waiting for that will be added to, I believe it's the third step. Let me just go on here real quick. Sports for profit. Okay. Let's log in here. Okay, there's that. And a reminder, if you're sending people to the Facebook group, just make sure they answer the question. If they want to have to answer the question, just saying they're going to follow the rules of the group. There's the line advantage. So right here is where it will end up being replacing this would be for people to be able to sign up for the proxies. Now, one of the things that I didn't think we were going to be able to do, which we did in test this weekend. So I want you to kind of picture. Actually, let me go into a demo account here because it's easier if I show you it. Let's go here. Log in. Let's go into, let's go here. All right. So originally, when we were setting this up, it was going to be two separate logins for the person. So the way you see it now, so when someone comes in and they want to configure their account, right? You go here, you configure your account. But what will happen is down here below, there'll be a configuration for the people that want to use the proxy service. So basically say proxy service, and then we'll walk them through that step. But instead of configuring up here, they're going to configure down here. And then when they go to do that configuration, once they have, I guess it's almost like calling it a token. It's kind of an address that will spit out when they sign up for the proxy from that link that's on there. What that will then do, they'll click on that, they'll put that address in, and then that will automatically attach their account to whatever sports book on that given day the proxy's using to get that best line. Now, we didn't think we'd be able to do that, so we were able to do it. So basically, there'll be one login for somebody. So again, it simplifies. Again, I want you to look at this more from ease of use, building a team where people, do less, because we all know that people like to do less. They never like to do more. They prefer to do less. So now it's, hey, when I log in, and then what they see up here will always be the exact number based on that play that was made for that day. And it'll all be done automatically in the background. So when they're looking at it, they'll basically just go in, they'll go to one place, they'll say, okay, great, current plays right now, there's 5 plays. They'll see that they were played, they got it at the exact line that our experts gave out, and boom, you're good to go. And I'll give you a good example. So today there's a play that's coming out. I was on a very long um, uh, development call with the experts, just trying to, because there's a big piece that has to happen on the back end to make sure that whether it's 20, whether it's 25, whether it's 30 different sports books that we're tying the proxy to, that we're able to get that information much quicker than even the way that we're getting it right now. So you're going to see a play come across probably shortly, from my understanding. But I know when we were looking at it earlier, it was at 3.5. And had we been able to get that over directly into having the proxy set up, we would have been able to test it, because it moved that fast. Even though we're still giving it out, we're giving it out at 4.5, because that's still a good number, even at 4.5. But obviously, getting it at -3.5 instead of -4.5 would be a better number. So there's just a lot of technical things that have to happen in the background between the experts, the virtual assistant, and the technology. So there's those pieces. Now, the other important piece is they'll be able to, when they go to sign up, it'll be $19.95, which I think I've shared that with you guys last week. There's no commissions on it or anything, but they won't have to go to a separate billing situation. It's still, everything will happen from AIM. So we're trying to basically take everything, work all the technology on the back end, and then so it's ease of use for that person. So they'll see, in terms of their membership, they'll see that they're an SME user, and then they'll also see that they're also a proxy user. Now, one of the questions that I got from some people was, can they turn the proxy on and off? And right now, no, but in the way we've built it down the road, that will be a feature. So let's say that, and I'll give you an example. I know that person's actually on here. Sundays is a big day, with church and doing different things. And those plays come at between 12:30 and 1 o'clock, just before the games, or 9:30, 10 o'clock if you're on the West Coast. And that's right in the middle of services and things. So the future would be where you can just turn the proxy on when you need it. But in the beginning, basically, you're either proxy or not proxy. You kind of decide which way you want to go with that. So that's how that will work back here. But again, ease of use, tie everything into one spot. And then again, within the class, have any training videos that need to be. And then the people that want that extra one-on-one training, they can go through the 1:30 and the 4. And then as Jerry sees fit. And I don't know if all you guys really understand why Jerry does what he does, from a corporate standpoint. When we first started talking about putting the affiliate program into this, there was a big piece that I was very, very persistent about, that all of us on this side are more affiliate based than even having learned to be a sports trader or a sports bettor, whatever you want to call it. and I say sports trader because we've got a pretty big group over in Europe, and they do call it trading over there. That's part of that marketing team that's coming in. So that's going to be a big push going forward as well. Some people are going to call it trading versus the people that call it what we call it. But that being said, the reason why they've basically said, hey, your responsibility for the first 24 to 36 months is going to be getting and listening and answering and building out exactly what we need so that the people that are using our system never feel like they didn't know something. Now, if they don't come and get involved in any of the things, or if we're not able to build that video that answers that question, then that comes back on the experts, and then they'll have to take responsibility. But right now, because we've basically monopolized Jerry's time, to where originally they were going to have multiple, because they've got a pretty big organization with their stuff that they do, from the data analysts to the people that are scouring social media, all the local beat reporters, just a ton of people that they have on the payroll. So, but again, coming from, we need somebody who is not just in it as an affiliate, because as time goes on, we may know some stuff, not going to know what an expert knows. So that's why they've pretty much assigned him to be the only one that's been doing it, even though at any time they could throw somebody else in there, but that wouldn't give us the same data that we're trying to collect right now. Remember, everything that's built on the back end of this is AI related. So anything that he's building up is going into this huge database that's being built right now. So again, I think sometimes people think he's just there so that we can say we have someone there. No, he's there collecting data, trying to help people, giving people insight, but more than anything, building out so that when you do the work and bring on affiliates or users, that they're here month after month, and they understand that this is not a 30-day deal or a 60-day deal. This is 12 months. So anyway, so I just thought that's kind of important to kind of talk about that. Just that's a big important piece, and that's where, when you have those types of questions, the more those are asked there, the more he puts into the database, the more things that get built out, so that a year from now, 2 years from now, when you're still bringing people on personally, and then teaching them to do what you did, so that you get all three levels, it can be done without necessarily having somebody available at those two times, because we've got the full interface in place with all the training that needs to be there, so that the novice can come in this, use it with the least amount of time. Because that's what we've learned in a very short period of time, that most people don't want to be kind of chained to, oh, I just got it at 12:30 and I got, or 12:45, because sometimes things happen and they're a little bit later, or even those props, those things. There's lead information that they've got people on the fields, basically, whether they're tied to the beat reporter or what have you. And when certain information comes in, that's relayed back to our data scientists, who then in turn crunch those numbers against previous stuff that prop has done, and then spits it back out to us to play within that thing. And you've probably noticed that the props are probably something that is hitting at close to an 80% ratio, comparably to what normally is our best, which had been college football. But we've kind of got that turned around based on, again, getting through some of this COVID stuff. So I feel like we're on the second half. But the positive on the NFL also is the fact that our NFL has been really good this year, which is normally the hardest one to beat, because we're doing the same thing. The sports books are at the same disadvantage that we're at right now. So that's just kind of interesting when you look at the full scope of what we have going. And, you guys are all what we're calling now the pioneers, and you've got an education over these last few months that most people will never know about all the stuff that we were able to watch, we were able to see as all these little things get built out for us. All right, so that's where we're at with the proxy. Could be 72 to 96 hours to where people will be able to at that point start putting in their application. It'll be a similar process to that of how people sign up for Bet 365. They'll get an email back, basically giving them their address, token, whatever you want to call it. I think they call it, the programmers call it a tokenization, and then that basically assigns them that they're in the proxy. They paid their monthly $19.95, and then they're assigned an automatic virtual assistant who then does that last part of the step when those plays come in. Now, on the one thing I left on that, so when the lines can't be gotten at the same thing, one of the features that we were able to build in is that if the line is still like today's, where it's coming out at, I believe, 4.5, and it's still a good play, even though it won't go to the proxy, it'll still go to us, just because it's still considered a good play. So the proxies will, in some cases, not get some of the plays that the regular users, only because the idea of the proxy is that it happens in real time and we get it in right away. And if we can't get the exact advantage, then basically it skips the proxy and then just goes to our regular users because the advantage is still good at what that line is. So that's just a side note on that, just so that you may see if you're running a proxy and there were a couple extra plays here versus here, because we still felt like there was an advantage, and because we know that there's a lot of other sports books that are not tied to there, and people may be in that area where they're getting the better line anyways, but we know the advantage is good. So that's just a side note on that. All right, so let's go back to the sports for profit. All right, so what I was going to do today, but they haven't run that update yet. I believe they're running it overnight tonight. So what we'll do is tomorrow on this call at noon, we'll go through all the updates in terms of the things that have changed since a week ago or 10 days ago, because you may be sending this out to people and they're seeing things that you didn't see when you went through it. And this way here, I can show you on each side. That being said, that also change is the video that I did that was in compliance. So now I'm going to have to redo that once we get this latest edition in tomorrow. So, or overnight. And to play games for U.S. sports only. Now we could have soccer games. We could have tennis matches that are overseas. There could be any number of games, but understand we only take the ones with the highest advantage that has an advantage for that day. So I'll use soccer as the example from over the weekend. There were 7 or 8 soccer games that, but none of them had as high of a rating as the college football or the NFL. So people on our program right now, because we're not offering the other programs where you go through a course, learn how to be a sports bettor, and then basically we feel comfortable that you're paying a higher dollar amount, or your users, but for that they're getting a lot more information, a lot more games, a lot more that goes into that. Again, that's second tier sometime next year. And then the biggest program will always be the ones that actually want to learn how to be a guy like Jerry, the ones that want to do this full time. They're not really interested in making the money from the affiliate program. They're more interested in, learning how to take the information and use it, and they make their own decisions sometimes when to pat, which is why that skip is in there, when to skip it based on what their sports book is saying. So hopefully that answers your question. But yes, there'll be some soccer. Typically soccer, like we had a bunch of soccer in July and August before football. It just, soccer is another sport that's really hard to beat. So when the ratings come in, if it doesn't hit in that top tier, it won't be something we give out. And another thing, just for your guys' knowledge, soccer has an international flair to it, but it also has a different way of betting at different sports books, and it's very confusing to people. And if you ask Jerry that question on his, he can kind of walk you through. So we focus only on the ones that will not confuse our users. And again, if you've got questions on that, you could always ask Jerry, and he'll be more than happy to there's like 3 different sides to soccer in terms of how you can play it. And it's very confusing. So we stick with only the plays that fit kind of a total, like we do with football. So it's over 2 goals or under 2 goals, same with baseball. And then same with when you actually pick a side. There's the ability to you could pick a side, but you don't you think that with football it's a push, but with soccer it ends up not being a push. So there's things like that are a little too complicated for somebody who is just putting the plays in, and we'd rather not have people make mistakes on it. So, but yeah, those plays will come out when we have them, and when they fit the algorithm for that day, they will come out on that side of things. All right, so we covered where we're at with the proxy. Jerry will be on at 1:30 and 4:30. Tomorrow we'll go step by step through the funnel, explain what the I believe this is the advanced means. We'll go over that tomorrow, what that means for you guys. Just go through all the things that are from the latest update. Any other questions for today? All right, looks like we don't have your questions. All right, so just a final recap in case some people got on late. Proxy, real good testing this weekend. Should be in the mode onto this funnel, which is where people will be able to sign up. It'll be down here, and it will be tied directly to your AIM account. And instead of just being an SME user, you'll also be SME and a proxy user. So you'd see both those. So as you can see, this account is empty right now. It's just a test account, but that's where you would see it. So one-stop shop for somebody less common, and that will run $19.95 for the people that want that service, and then obviously $79.95 is what we're paying for our side of it. And the proxy is not commissionable. That would be a compliance nightmare for us. That's a fee that's being paid to a third party, and would cause us, and we'd have to charge a lot more. There's no commissions on that, and it would be a compliance issue. All right, so that was that. And then tomorrow noon, if you want to be on for me to go through any of the enhancements that were made, kind of explain what everything means on here, but by all means, you should be using it. I know yesterday there was, and I don't know where it came from, but I believe there were 50 signups from And I don't know if it was a group of people using it. I hadn't had a chance to go through the data yet with the guys from Sports for Profit. But on the daily report that comes out showed, I think it was 51 signups Saturday and Sunday, between Saturday and Sunday. And again, I don't know if it was testing that they were doing with traffic or if it was from the people that we gave this out to over the last couple of weeks. But I'll know that by tomorrow, and then I'll give you kind of an update on that as well. All right. Well, everybody have a good rest of the day. And just remember, when those plays come out early in the week, make sure you put them in, get the best line. You don't want to wait till the weekend. A couple people did that again this weekend, and they got lucky because those plays, even at the line changing, ended up covering. So at the end of the day, no harm, no foul, but a lot of times that doesn't happen. So, all right. Talk to you guys later.